I am not enough. My name is Wilfredo, and I'm starting this as a personal way for me to document this and to take personal responsibility. I'm 22. I'm turning 23 in a couple days. I screwed my life up. I've become overweight. I stopped studying in school. I lost friendships. I'm going to divorce my wife. And I lost my sense of self. I used to love running as a kid. And I remember I'd like to race the cars. And now I get tired so fast. It hurts. It hurts to know that the reason I'm so limited in what I can do physically, mentally, emotionally, it's because I got myself in this situation. I got into gacha games at a very young age. The second I got my first smartphone, I was already playing Dokkan. And the game in of itself isn't bad, but I've always had a competitive nature to me. So when I started making money, it came in, came out, just like that. At 15, I was working at Target. Every 2 weeks, that $1,000 paycheck would come, and I'd be waiting for it 2 or 3 in the morning. Not even an hour later, I spent it on games. And the habit stayed with me up until recently. Through different games with Dokkan, Dragon Ball Legends, Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross, which I spent like $1,000 in a couple days before, to Blue Lock Project World Champion, which I finally dropped along with the rest of those games. I've poured so much money into useless shit that could have been used elsewhere. I dropped out eventually, even though school was almost done. I let it go because I just did not want to go back. I became overweight, and I mistreated myself because I felt like I deserved it. Like I said, I'm turning 23 in a couple days. And I do have a daughter, and I had her when I was 19. And I love her, but I know I'm not the best father. I'm not capable enough to raise her. And my ex-wife, I can't continue that relationship. It isn't good for me anymore. To try and make a relationship that should have ended years ago continue to work. We outgrew each other. And eventually I became bitter towards her. And I had stopped all intimacy. And I became a brick wall because truly I was mad at myself for allowing myself to get to where I am. There's a period in my daughter's life where I wasn't around her when she was a little under a year old. And it was hard to know that she got so attached to so many people aside from me because I just wasn't around. It's not that I disappeared, it's just family didn't mix with the wife. So she went to go live on with her mom. And I went a couple months without seeing my daughter. And it hurt. Eventually, I got us an apartment. Around the time she was like a year and a half. And I struggled to make ends meet. But they were happy. And then I got another job. And at the time, it beat me up in the beginning because I wasn't prepared for it. My body was not prepared for it. I was working 60 to 80 hours in the sun, wasn't eating much, wasn't drinking much of water, that is. But I was doing it for them. Eventually, all the flaws that I noticed in my wife built up onto me, and I got to a point where I wasn't strong enough to either fix it myself, talk about the conversation, or end it then and there. So I just tried to make it work, and I tried. And I did for a little bit. But now, almost a decade being together, I love her, but I'm not in love with her. In fact, I more so resent her. And it's not her own fault. I got to that place. And she doesn't deserve that. So I said, I don't want to go into a place where I resent you more. So I'm going to leave. We both have our issues, but I also started to notice that she's changing into a person I just can't be with. And I sit here finally beginning the process to get better for my daughter, for myself, for my family, and my friends. I wanted to start this video a couple weeks ago, but I was scared. But as of recent, within this past year actually, my last birthday, I made a commitment that I would try to be as honest as I can, even if it hurt. And that's when it started, when I had said, I'm done. And I wasn't perfect in the beginning, but I'm now at a place where I would rather have the fight and the argument than to lie and live in a fantasy. And that goes for all my relationships now. I gave up all my gachas. I'm ready to give up gaming, as I haven't been doing it. And I'm willing to gift my sister's husband my computer that I spent so much money on. Maybe sell it, try and get something out of it, not sell it for cheap. Just to try and give me a little boost to help me get to where I need to be. I started reaching out and praying, maybe seeing if God exists, and if he does, to help guide me. I started picking up the book, and I used an old picture of me and my friends back when we were kids in high school, freshman year. And I only speak to one of those people now. And honestly, sometimes I hate how I treat him. And it's only when we're playing games too. Sometimes after we play games and I get so competitive, I just sit there and I'm like, he didn't deserve me saying that, so I'll apologize. I have a good group of friends now, and I'm gonna try to be a better me and be more honest and vulnerable so I don't lose that. I started getting my sleeping schedule. I'll sleep no later than 10, and I'll wake up at 5. And sometimes my body wakes me up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just have to deal with it. As of 3 days ago, I picked up running again, and I noticed how weak and feeble and unprepared my body is. I could barely run 30 seconds before I had to tire out. And that was day 1. I ran and walked and ran and walked 14 miles day 1, right before I went back to work. Day 2 was the first day back for work season, because we got winter off, and my body was sore. But when I got home, I got in the shower, and I convinced myself I was gonna run. I work from 6 a.m. 'm, to around 6 p.m. at night. So when I got in the shower, I was trying my best to convince myself to run. Eventually I cried a bit because I hurt. And I didn't feel strong enough. But I prayed a bit in there. And I just asked, if God, if you exist, give me the strength to go on the run. So if he exists, then he did. Because I ran. And eventually my family found me running at like 8:30. It was my brother's birthday. And this brother he's close to me. I have multiple, but of all my brothers, he's the closest. And they invited me to go with them to celebrate his birthday, but I denied it because I'm trying to run away from who I am now and become someone better. I got a message saying he was distraught and that they needed me to go see him. So I did. And he cried to me telling me how he's worried about me and all the stuff I'm going through and my daughter. And it's another reason I'm making this, because I do need to hold myself accountable. I stayed strong at that moment and I didn't cry. But I told them my new goal, and I haven't had one in a while, not a real one at least. My goal was to take this feeble body and run a marathon by my next birthday. And that's a goal I had just put in a couple days ago. And yeah, we talked about stuff. I hope he's okay now. And yesterday was so hard for me. I've been eating one meal a day. I'm trying to eat as much protein as I can, but I'm getting full fast now. And I'm working outside in the sun and walking all day long, driving to putting chemicals on people's properties, and that all adds up. So yesterday, around noon, my body was slugging and I felt a wave of exhaustion hit me. As soon as I got home, I took off my clothes and I passed out for hours. I got home around like 6:30. I passed out and I slept for almost 12 hours. It's like 10:4, 10:5. All my friends know what I'm trying to do, and they all call me crazy, and they're probably right. I am forcing a lot, and I'm doing it because I need to force this change, and I need to prove to myself that I can do it, and I can be a better person. And I'm recording this before I go on my run because I want to start this, and I want to look back eventually and watch all the videos I'm going to post and see progress, and hopefully it's another reason I can continue going. I wrote. Actually, let me take a step back. I went to work today, and I had just woken up at like 5. I had a weird dream, and I texted my friend about it, but that's not that important. I got ready, dressed. I forgot my water bottle, so I was like thirsty all day, and I felt good. I wasn't tired at work at all, actually. And usually, the last 2 seasons, I would return from work exhausted from the work itself, which is, I mean, it is exhausting. A lot of my coworkers are always coming home and tired and hot and sweaty, filled with chemicals. But I wasn't tired today. In fact, I had never felt as good at my job as I have today. So I'd like to believe that forcing it is helping in some way. And that if God exists, that He's also giving me the strength to do it. And I got home, I took a shower, and I wrote this. I wrote this because I'm being vulnerable with people, but I need to be vulnerable with me too. Because at the end of the day, I don't know me, I just occupy me. And I need to get to know myself if I do want to change. So I wrote, yes, I acknowledge it. I am a failure. I failed myself miserably. When I did good in school, when I was in shape, when I tried my best, when I attempted connections, tried new things, etc., etc. I failed myself miserably. It cost me friends, family, finances, health, but most importantly, myself. Who am I now anymore? I feel a tremendous amount of love hidden that constantly tries to come out, but I am overweight. I am broke. I am unreliable. I am hurt. I am scared. I made a commitment to be honest and truthful from now on. Let's see where that adventure takes me. I'm going to get back in shape. I'm going to fix my finances. I'm going to be a better friend. And I'm going to be a better me. My daughter deserves the best, not some half-baked jackass. Yes, I'm not ready, but will. It's time you grow up and smell the roses. You've been honest with you now, so start to change. I declared a better myself. That's what I wrote. I've mistreated myself so bad. And it's time I stop admiring the people or the fictional characters that I admire. And it's time that I start working to become someone I could admire. I will continue running. I will try and keep my room clean. I will try and cover all the debts that I have. I will try and buy a car in cash this year. I will move out so my soon-to-be ex-wife and daughter have a home. without me. Because my daughter doesn't deserve to see the kind of relationship that came out from what two hurt people made. I don't know if anyone's ever gonna see this, or if they're gonna keep track of what I'm doing. But this is mainly for me. The bags under my eyes, the overweight, the debt, the dependence, rephrase that, the unreasonable overdependence. I'm gonna fix it all, and I'm gonna be a better person. And I'm still a boy, but it's time that I become an adult. It's time that I grow up. It's time that I become a man. Not only for myself, but so that my friends and family can rely on me, as I've relied on them. So I'm gonna keep track of all the debts I have now, and I'm gonna make a list of them. And then I'm gonna share as much as I can without involving other people's personal lives. I need to accept who I am, and force a better me from me. Yes, it's crazy, as my friends and family have been telling me the amount of work I'm putting on my body this past week, but I like to describe the heat and the tearing that my body feels the same way you purify metal. And as you put it in extreme heat, it becomes malleable. And eventually all of that's left is the pure metal. And I'm going to first step is accepting me. And I've done that. Second step, being vulnerable with myself and family and friends. And I'm doing that. Third step, begin taking fair care of myself mentally and physically. Fourth step, clean the environment I inhabit. And my fifth step, work until I paid off the debts, until I have a paid car, until I have my own place. And then from there on, I have just reached the starting line. I don't know if I'll finish school and go back. I don't know if I'll keep my interest in computers. I don't know what I'll do then. But time that I take accountability and learn to be a responsible, grown adult. I don't know if I will find faith in my attempt to read the Bible and pray. But regardless whether or not you believe, I don't think there's no more perfect man than there is Jesus. And whether or not he's real isn't a debate. But I need to try and follow in his footsteps and change for the better. Good luck, me. No, those aren't the right words. You better do this. It's the better choice of words. I already failed, so there's nowhere else to go other than up.